In 2013, my husband's father was killed in a car accident while at work. It was something that was tragic, unexpected, and took our entire family by storm. As we started going through the pictures to get for a slideshow and to ease some of the ache in our heart, we were quickly hit with the realization that there were pictures we were never going to be able to see, or at least so we thought. Media had changed, and the way that pictures were once stored was something that no longer occurred. A floppy disk was no longer a household name. We started to research and found that there was devices that you could use to pull off the data from those old floppy disks. But our on-demand need for gratification, to ease the ache in our hearts, were quickly shattered when we found out it was something we had to order, not an item that we could just buy in the store. That's when I came to realize how important it was for us to print our pictures, not keep the images on our phone, on a media sharing device, or maybe even in the cloud. So I want to talk to you a little bit about today, printing your pictures, because one, as humans, we have an immediate need for gratification. Two, technology continues to change. And three, reflection is important in our grief and in our growth, even if it's not just about tragedy. A lot of the information I'm going to bring you today comes from incredible resources, such as Backblaze.com, and Psychology Today, and even with Julie Kessler with Picture This Organized. So as humans, we have an immediate need for gratification. We have that impulsiveness and spontaneousness. We have an intolerance for anything that's delayed. It's just kind of our human nature. We anticipate the pleasure of great things, and we anticipate the dread of the things that we fear the most, according to Psychology Today. This is important when we have tragedy strike, because when it hits us, the mood to reminisce or the ability to have that gratification happen now is important in our grief process. And without it, our mood and our attitude tends to shift. Secondly, we have seen media continue to change and shift and evolve. I want you to think about when you were growing up. And let's take cell phones, for example. Well, how many of you didn't even have cell phones at all? How many of you had the cell phone in a bag that you carried on your shoulder? I remember those when I was younger. Or perhaps it is the flip phone or the single phone that all you could do is play something like Snake, and your text was I-9 texting. And now we have something like this, an iPhone, where everything is immediately at your fingertips. One of the first methods of digital media sharing was a floppy disk. There were some that initially came out that were probably the size of this. They were black, and they really were floppy. And then as time progressed, it got a little bit smaller, and they had a little silver piece that could slide off, and the media was in a floppy piece in between these two hard pieces of plastic. And then it went to CDs and SD cards that you put in your camera, thumb drives, external hard drives that are the size of a phone, and even things like the cloud and the Dropbox, where things are stored in a place that you can't even tangibly touch. What I mean is, technology has changed, and how we can get that information has changed. And as media has evolved, it becomes less and less for us to have access to those. I want you to think about the last time you saw a computer that had a CD drive, let alone a floppy disk. Times change, and without being able to keep up with that change, we're going to lose some of those memories. Third, reflection. Reflection is such an important piece to our personal growth, and it can really be imperative in a time of tragedy. And like I said earlier, it doesn't just have to be tragedy like losing someone. It could be just going through the everyday hustle and bustle of life. Having the ability to hold on to a memory that's printed for you at the right moment can bring clarity and peace to you. With Julie on Picture This Organized, something she said was so impactful to me. She said that when we lose someone, having those photos can bring them back, even if it's just for a short minute, as well as help their legacy continue to go on. So as humans, we have an immediate need for gratification. Technology keeps changing, and we need the ability to reflect and hold those memories so that we can process all the things that life brings us. As we progress in time, we can't change the things that happen to us. We can't rewrite history, even though we try to all the time. All we can do is remember the people that we love, the moments that brought us joy, and try to be the best version of ourselves, the version of whoever you might be missing wanted you to be. Don't let the hindrance of not being able to reflect and see and remember the good times, the bad times, the things to do and the things not to do prevent you from moving forward. Print your pictures, because it may just be your only piece of hope in your biggest days of doubt.